Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin. I'm the author of Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love. All of my books are available in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do readings, 30, 60, and 90-minute readings. Twin Flame Romance, Life, Path, and Purpose. You can book that at my website, michellefondinauthor.com. And until June 15th, 2021, I am offering 10% off the Twin Flame Divine Feminine boot camps. You can book that on demand at the links below with a promo code New Moon Gemini, all caps. This is removing obstacle Thursdays. And it just so happens that today when I'm filming this is the solar eclipse in Gemini. It is June 10th. We are talking today about 5 paradigms that twin flames are breaking. We talk about the shifting of paradigms. However, I really feel like twin flames in this collective, in this lifetime, are actually breaking, shattering these 5 paradigms. So do stay tuned until the end of this video because I know many of you are experiencing some major obstacles on your twin flame journey, so you don't want to miss these 5. Number 1. The woman cannot be older than the man. Now, traditionally, this has been a thing. And I know in cultures worldwide, maybe not in Western cultures where there's a large stigma, but I know in many Eastern cultures or maybe Middle Eastern cultures and Asian cultures that this is actually a thing where the woman is really not allowed to be older than the man to have a harmonious union according to society. Now, there really isn't any rhyme or reason to this. This has just been a thing. And even in the Western model, in Western societies, it is basically an unspoken rule that it is frowned upon that a woman in a romantic partnership can be older, and even at that, much older than the man in the relationship. And oftentimes the running joke is that, you know, the woman who's older is a cougar or a MILF or something like that. And it's just a paradigm with the large age gap that tends to happen. It's not a general rule. And I know I'm going to put in the 10 new signs for 2021, the twin flame signs. And you've probably seen the 14 signs to know that if you are a twin flame or you've met your twin flame. In there, I do talk about an age gap. Even though it's not a must, it's more common than not. In this collective, oftentimes there's a 10-year gap, a 12-year gap, a 15-year gap, or even a 20-year gap between the female divine feminine. Not all divine feminines are female. The male divine masculine. Oftentimes there's like a 10 to 20-year gap, maybe more, maybe less. But again, it seems to be generally in society, it seems to be more frowned upon. So because twin flames are coming onto this earth with that paradigm where a lot of divine masculines in a male body and a masculine body are younger than their divine feminine counterparts, we are shifting and changing and breaking that old paradigm. Number 2, religious background beliefs that must be the same. This is another big one. I speak to twin flames around the globe, and while this might not be a humongous issue in the Western world, it does seem to be a big deal in many other countries, whether or not the romantic partner in question is of the same religious background as their twin flame. And this seems to unveil many root wounds and generational wounds where the families, for example, say that the religion must be the same. The religion of the two parties, the two twin flames, has to be the same, or even the two romantic partners has to be the same. And that is one major obstacle that I hear a lot. I hear the twin flames that, for example, one is Muslim and one is Hindu, for example. That's just one of the major examples. Or one is Muslim living in the Middle East, and they fall in love with a twin flame who is Irish Catholic. And then there's just this huge discrepancy between the belief systems. And they really feel like this is a major obstacle that we cannot overcome. And twin flames are designed to shatter that specific paradigm. Number 3 is families that must approve. Now, it really doesn't matter what country you come from, which language you speak, which culture you come from. Having family approval really is a huge thing for most people. And when we present a loved one, someone that we love, someone that we're romantically interested in, and maybe carrying this forward to a more serious commitment, of course, it's innate within us that we really, really want our family's approval, because we think about all those special family times, the holidays, birthdays, graduations, weddings, baptisms, or bar mitzvahs. We think of all those major, major family events that people gather together for. And oftentimes when we are thinking seriously about a romantic partner, we really want our family's approval. We want to know that our families are going to be with us through our marriage, through having children and grandchildren and what have you. But when we feel like our families will not approve of our romantic partner, then it can create a lot of obstacles and difficulties. And in some of the twin flames that I have coached that come from a more traditional type of background, not only religious, but cultural, it's really important for them to have their family's approval before they move forward with a romantic partner. Even if they're of the same religious background, right? They could be different culturally or skin color or something like that. But now, as twin flames are coming together from various shapes, sizes, age, cultural backgrounds, religious backgrounds, and the such, we are shattering the paradigm of I need to live for somebody else's approval. And really that is the major shift, the major paradigm break that is happening. We are learning as twin flames to live more authentically from our highest and truest self, our highest and truest inner self. So when you are honoring your highest, truest, and intuitive inner self, then you will know intuitively that this romantic partner, albeit a twin flame in this case, is the right partner for you. And if you know this from the most authentic place of who you are and where you are, then there is really no need to go out and seek approval from your extended family and your immediate family, because you will know that you are in agreement with your current life path, and that if you remain steadfast to the honest and authentic self that is true within you, then in the long term, your family will come around. In the short term, they might not approve, but in the long term, your family will come around. But in the end, if we don't break this paradigm, then more and more people will continue to live away from their inner truth. And so as twin flames, we are called to live toward our inner truth, speak our inner truth, and move in our life path more authentically. Number 4, family traditions must remain. Now this goes deep. This could be something along the lines of traditions and things that you do in families that have remained for generations and generations. One prime example of this is I was a doctor, your grandfather was a doctor, your great-grandfather was a doctor, and therefore you must be a doctor. And so when you're enter into a family, you really have no conscious choice. Of course, before you come here, you always have a choice. But in this lifetime, you don't have the conscious choice of the family that you choose. And so then you don't even have a conscious choice as to the traditions that are thrust upon you. And when it comes in the way of your own professional life, your education, the way you do things, for example, that you must attend all family meetings, or you must attend every single family holiday, or that we always marry of the same socioeconomic background, or we always celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, in this specific way, and there is no deviation from it because we have to keep tradition. And twin flames that are coming to the table more self-actualized are realizing that traditions that do not make sense, such as, for example, grooming your child to be a certain profession just because that's the way it's always been done. That's the way it's always been done does not mean that that is the good way to get things done. So twin flames coming to the table more self-actualized can begin to question the family traditions that don't make sense anymore. And when you begin to question those family traditions that truly do not make sense, you begin to shift and change the outcomes of your family line, and you are able to create, again, it's all about more authenticity and allowing each individual in that family to seek their own higher truth. Because when we stick to family traditions that don't make any sense anymore, it's almost as if we are a drone. We're just this robot moving about, going through the motions without being completely emotionally involved in that activity, whatever it may be. And I know so many people who have grown up with high pressure from their families to be a certain way, to even dress a certain way, to do things in a certain way, and to have a profession, for example, as I mentioned at the beginning, that has been in their family for generations. So twin flames coming through this are learning to say, no, I choose to do things in a very different way than what my family has done. Because when things don't make sense, I know that I now can change them regardless of how my family reacts. And number 5 is a huge one. It is anything that has to do, and I have to read this one because it's long, anything that has to do with gender, race, sexual orientation, skin color, and socioeconomic status. This is huge, you guys. Now, I really want to address a couple of these because the enormity of the paradigm breaking of all of these things has a really great impact on life moving forward for so many of you. And I know this for certain. I've been speaking with twin flames who realize that their twin flame is of a different skin color. And even in very fair Western models of, where we've come to create acceptance in interracial couples, it's still a huge problem, and it's triggering a lot of people, especially, for example, in the United States in the Deep South, where I've had some African American women or Mexican women, for example, like falling in love with a white boy, and it's their twin flame, and they know it's their twin flame, but they're really worried about coming into acceptance from their twin flame's family, for example. So it's creating a lot of triggers. Another big trigger, and I want to mention this to you if this is your case, because I've had quite a few twin flames in this situation. Now, it does seem that it's more of happening to the divine feminine in a female body than in a divine masculine, or a divine female feminine in a masculine body. I've heard this so many times, and because I've heard this, it really screams out to me paradigm breaking, paradigm shift, paradigm breaking. And it has to do with sexual orientation. So I've had several, and if you've come to me for coaching, know that I'm not pointing you out, because this has happened so many times that I felt it was worth mentioning, that there are twin flames out there who were heterosexual, and they were, I'd say all of them I've spoken to are female, heterosexual, and in a relationship with a man. And they fell in love with their twin flame, who was a female in a female body in the divine masculine role, but a female in a female body. And the reason I point this out is because all of these, and there are probably 5 to 10 of them, and in the course of the past 2 years that I've been doing the twin flame coaching, about 5 to 10, like I'm not going to give the exact number, but around that. In all of their cases, they were never homosexual. They were never lesbians. They were always heterosexual. And when they were awakened to their twin flame, when they were awakened to their twin flame journey, they had the strong connection to their twin flame, including the chemistry, including the sexual connection as well. And a lot of these twin flames felt guilty and ashamed and confused because they were always heterosexual. And then all of a sudden there's a twin flame who's of the same sex. And it's left a lot of confusion. So for me, that screams out paradigm shift. That screams out breaking patterns, breaking paradigms. And why these twin flames chose to break those paradigms, I don't know. Their soul chose that. So when I see that story, for example, time and time again, it's like we as a twin flame collective are learning in these different aspects of life to shatter these paradigms that are so interwoven into our societies. And so if you have any or all of these situations where you're really wondering with these obstacles that are in place with your twin flame, if you're wondering, like, why did this happen to me? Like, I don't understand why my twin has to be of a different race, a different gender, of a different sexual orientation even, or different socioeconomic status, or that my family doesn't approve, or that there's this huge age gap, or that I'm a woman older than my twin flame man. If you're really infused in this like shame and guilt surrounding that, just know that it was all divinely guided, because so many of us across the globe, in every single country, in every single culture, who have been awakened to this twin flame journey, all of us on some level are breaking one of these 5 paradigms, and just know that. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you are still working through your own twin flame healing journey, I would highly encourage you to join the Twin Flame Divine Feminine Bootcamp #1. And then when you're done with that one, the Bootcamp #2, because they really help you along this twin flame journey. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on that bell, scroll to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can pledge your support on Patreon. www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin. And I will see you in the next video.